Good morning, everybody. We are going to start out the show. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. It's a great Sunday. It is Sunday, November 19th, and we got a bunch of games for everybody. Thank you, Bebop, Soli 684, Boss Quest, Tommy Huxley, everyone for coming. So I have a really cool little video I want to show you guys real quick before we get into the rest of the show. We've been working on this a little bit, and I think everybody will get a little kick out of it. So I actually got two videos. They're pretty quick. So all right, everybody. I hope that got you guys pumped a little bit for the game starting out. And if you're not necessarily a 49er fan, let me give you this little cool little video real quick. It's about 30 seconds, and it's going to get everybody else pumped for the rest of the games. All right. All right. So, there's always a different side of football. There's fans for all ages. There's something to keep everybody entertained with. And, having a little bit of fun there. There were some old mascots there, and there's some relatively new ones. But that's your matchups for today. So, hey, guys, how's it going? Thank you all for coming. We have David McNiner and Josue Alvarez Map. Thank you, guys. And thank you, everybody in the chat. So,
thanks.
Does everybody have a cup of coffee? Does everybody have a beverage to drink that will keep you here long enough to stick with us for the show? If so, cheers, faithful, and hope everybody's doing good this morning. So I just thought it would be, actually, I was thinking about this the other day. There's been a lot of injuries that's happened, and there's always injuries, right? Every team has injuries. Every season there's an injury, but this year there's just been, I don't know. This seems like it's the year of the quarterback or something like that. Like nobody can seem to keep a quarterback healthy, right? Well, we know how the Niners story went last year, and knock on wood, whatever you want to do. I'm telling you the truth. But if you look at it, we're going to run through this real quick. Cincinnati, Baltimore. Was there an injury anywhere in between those two teams, guys?
No.
Never. Nobody was hurt there, right? Baltimore's been beat up almost entire season, and now Joe Cool's out, right? Sadly, he played us before he got hurt. So now we move on to Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Anybody, is there any quarterbacks in these two teams that has had an injury? Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Wow. Okay, so there's two more quarterbacks there, right? Now let's jump to Chicago and Detroit. Now, Detroit seems to be pretty mighty, right? Rawr, whatever you want to say. In Chicago, I don't know about those Bears, boo-boo, but yeah, they've been going through some quarterbacks too. Chargers and Green Bay. Well, it's a little weird because the Chargers don't seem to be the same Super LA Super Bowl Chargers, right? There was a hype video back in the 70s. It's called LA Chargers, it's Super Chargers. It's really cool if you like listening to some of the older theme songs. Green Bay, well, it is the season of love, and we will let Josue get into that a little bit later. Las Vegas. Oh my gosh, what's going on in Las Vegas? Jimmy G, Brian Hoyer, the Destroyer, are out. They are rocking with the rookie quarterback. Miami, we're not going to go there with Miami. Miami's doing good, and we just hope that guy can stay up on his feet because we don't need any injuries happening to anybody. New York Giants. What happened there? How many quarterbacks have they used in New York? It seems like they just keep on running in bad luck. Washington's been rocking with Sam Howell. I don't think they've had too many problems there. You have Dallas and Carolina. Carolina and Dallas both seem to be. Bryce Young's not injured. He was injured, I think, in the beginning of the season, but he came in and he's doing okay. But he's a rookie. Then you got Tennessee. Tennessee lost their quarterback. They're rocking with a rookie. Jacksonville. We will see how Trevor Lawrence does after he played against the Niners. All right, Arizona. Arizona got rid of a quarterback that was like doing pretty good. And actually, let's go back. Cleveland got rid of a quarterback that could have potentially done something. They move on. Arizona, are they tanking? We don't know, right? Well, they go ahead and let go their quarterback. I don't know if that was a good idea. Now Kyler Murray's coming. Can we say he's been called to duty? Houston, hey, shocking. They are rocking with the rookie quarterback, and they're doing pretty good. So now we go to Tampa Bay and San Francisco. We're going to move on because both those teams seem to be doing okay. They just seem to have their own hiccups at their own times. The Jets. Oh, boy, my Super Bowl prediction at the beginning of the season with Aaron, right? Discount double check. He did this experimental surgery, so he's saying he could come back, folks. So if you have tinfoil hats and you believe in theories and conspiracies, you could be my friend. And I tell you what, I believe Rodgers could be back, but I don't think the playoffs are necessarily set for the Jets. We're going to go to Seattle and LA. LA's had a revolving door at quarterback. Stafford's gotten hurt. They played some other quarterbacks. They went and signed Carson Wentz. I don't know if anybody squinted when they said that, but it's true. He's back in the league. And man, I that guy has the talent. He just doesn't seem to be able to put it together in the locker room. I don't know if it's the way I don't know, guys. Just going to leave it like that. Minnesota.
Stafford is playing this Sunday, though. Yeah.
So we got Minnesota, and I think you heard me say that. You like that? He might actually be available next year at a discount. Could we say discount double check, or is that's too close? That's not right, right? Denver, you like that? Let's ride. They seem to be back on the horse or doing a little bit better, but still not. I don't know if they're playoff bound. And then Philadelphia and Kansas City. I think it comes down to the Taylor Swift effect. And with that, guys, let's start the show. David, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts with this quarterback controversy? And let me hear your thoughts on Pittsburgh and Cleveland, the battle of the AFC North.
Well, those interdivisional matchups are always, crazy, right? We know this firsthand from the Cardinals a couple seasons ago, beating us 2 times and then missing the playoffs. That was kind of, But at this point, Cleveland is bringing in DTR, the guy with what, 3 names, right? 2 names, two last names.
Well, he has 2. Yeah. And if you have 2 last names, if you have 2 quarterbacks, right? 2 quarterbacks, you really have none, right? But if you have a man with 2 last names, maybe he's the one.
Maybe.
I have a chance.
But yeah, they're bringing him in. He's getting the start against the Steelers, but he's a rookie quarterback going up against TJ Watt and company. So we don't know what he's going to do yet. His first outing wasn't that good. They decided to start PJ Walker. Then Deshaun Watson went down, and they're like, yeah, we just got to play the rookie and see what he's got. So that's where Cleveland's at, right?
All right. Josue, your thoughts? Is there a quarterback controversy? Is it just injuries? And your thoughts on Chicago and Detroit, the North, the NFC North battle?
That one, so is there a quarterback controversy? Potentially. That game is going to be pretty one-sided. I will just admittedly say that's unfortunately going to be the Lions game to lose. But the Bears are at a very unique spot right now where Justin Fields is still just sitting out for whatever injury that he allegedly has, which reminds me of the Jay Cutler era of oh no, I have a thumb injury, but we never saw anything regarding a thumb injury at all. So it's gonna be tough because obviously who they have behind Justin Fields is not really panning out. The Bears are sitting at 3-7, their top 5 picks going into the draft. So do you I don't want to say tank, but do you play poor moving forward for a chance of another quarterback to have this big old brewing controversy? We've seen a couple seasons out of Justin Fields. I don't want to write him off because the Bears haven't invested around him, but at the same time, we've seen enough that maybe that they're like, well, there's some decent names coming up that in the next draft that we could possibly go for that might give us better hope. So they're in a rough spot, quarterback controversy wise.
Well, when you have a quarterback like Steve brought out, I think his name is Baggett. I don't think it's Baggett. I think it's Baget. He was the one that the Bears had just the last couple games, and he don't look too bad. So sometimes, getting fresh blood in there, and the Bears don't want to run the same type of offense that Justin Fields is supposed to be running. They want to go to a more of a standard offense. And I don't know. Maybe that's telling signs, but the problem with the Bears, I think too, is they continue to change their head coach and their front office. It's like every year, and now they're doing it with their uniforms. It's really, I don't know, guys. Put it in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on the Bears orange helmets. I think that's gross. I think it's gross. I think there's the Bengals and the Browns. That's enough orange. Okay, leave it at that. I'm going to give you as well the Chargers and the Green Bay game because we know you have the inside detail of the Green Bay game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because that one's going to be in Green Bay. I don't know what the weather's like right now, but it's November. It can't be well. I'm sure there's many people in Wisconsin the weather's great. For those of us here in California, it's no, the weather's not great. It's going to be an interesting game because, like you mentioned, when we talk about the matchup, Like the Chargers, like they're not deeply hurt, but they're definitely not playing on all cylinders. Like it's very uncharacteristic when you look at last season to this season, and even this season statistically, just how many yards per game, how many turnovers per game, how just overall like how their teams are performing. It's not like they're not performing, but it still seems flat. Like if anybody's stopped to watch the Chargers, like it still seems flat compared to last year. So with that being the case, like I hate to say that this could be the Packers game, but in theory, this could be the Packers game. Linebacker Rashad Gary's coming off of injury, and he's a huge playmaker. When he is there defensively, things are just different. So, and last week, the Packers did decent against the Steelers. A lot of missed opportunities, unfortunately. But that's the first time this season I could say we had a lot of missed opportunities, because the rest of the season has been no opportunities. So at least offensively, there was almost 400 yards passing last week. So I can only hope that Jordan Love doesn't forget what he did last week and does it again this week at home. It's just going to be tough. I do think the Chargers will sneak out the win, but I won't be surprised if the Packers actually get a win at home, which would be nice.
I have a couple family members that will be actually attending the game in Green Bay. It's a lot of fun. They're showing pictures on Facebook yesterday at the bar. I really hope, I really hope it's Green Bay, but I see the same thing you're saying. LA, they just seem like they have like a cylinder that's off, like maybe they have a spark plug that needs to get tightened or changed out. Something's fouling out. They have the potential to be able to score and score fast. They got big, fast wide receivers. They got a quarterback who can throw almost any pass on the field, any ball, but they're just they're not getting it done. And I think the score for the game that they just played last week was against the Lions. It was like 38-42 or somewhere really close to there. They can put points up. So if the Green Bay Packers can keep up with them or keep them out of scoring, and let the Chargers be the LA Superchargers like they are known for, right? Then I think the Green Bay Packers can win this game. Mr. McNiner, your thoughts on New York Giants and the Washington Commanders, the teams that play in different cities than they actually are?
Well, my thoughts are the Giants have gone downhill since last year. They went 9-8. They made the playoffs. They beat the Vikings in the playoffs. They won a playoff game. Everything was on the up and up. Acquired a couple weapons for their quarterback, re-signed him to a $40 million a season contract, and it just went. It didn't just go downhill, folks. It drove off the cliff, and it gaining speed on the way to the ground. It's kind of a sad thing to see, and at this point, you gotta feel bad for Giants fans because they had high hopes. They had high hopes. So their team went 9-8 last year. We're gonna get better. Sorry, I got the Commanders winning though, at their home away from home, but at home. However you want to look at it.
Sam Howell seems to be a pretty good quarterback, huh?
Yeah, he does. I gotta say something because I've said this kid's name wrong probably 3 different ways. The Chicago quarterback, Tyson Bagent. I looked up how to actually pronounce it, folks. I'm thinking he's playing for the wrong team. He should be our QB3. Bagent,
It's a match made in
Oh, wow. All right. Special shout out to Reggie Bone. Thank you for coming through. And Darwin's Raven. By the way, you were talking DTR earlier. The dude took an absolute beating in the first matchup versus the Ravens. He did. He didn't have very much time to prepare for that game either. I believe he was told to put your helmet on and get your mouthpiece in your mouth and get out there on the field. It wasn't really much warning at all. So, yeah. And then shout out to Ravens again. He's given the Purdy comparison. I told you pre-draft, Bagent looked like Purdy. I think he might have. We did draft show with Darwin here, and it was really, really a lot of fun. The last three, the whole entire draft this year, we covered it, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, so our next game, David, it's only right if I give you two games. This might be your favorite game to cover: the Dallas Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh. Now, I picked the Cowboys to win because Carolina just doesn't. They look like a football team destined to give the Bears a top 3 pick, But at this point, their defensive backs are good. There were talks that we were going to trade for their nickel, Dante Jackson, but that never happened. But yeah, their defensive backs are pretty good. You never know what a desperate team with only one NFL win is going to do, but I fully expect the Cowboys to handle business.
If the Cowboys don't, that's going to be really, really bad. That could be like the worst loss for a team this year. All right, I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on Las Vegas and Miami. I didn't want to skip them, but I think we went a little too quick. So the Raiders are going to Miami. If the Raiders can beat Miami, look out. Look out. Miami would be frauds. Miami would definitely have to have some kind of weird hiccup in this game. Devontae Adams would have to have like a huge fantasy football day. We're talking like Randy Moss, three catches, 3 touchdowns, something crazy, right? So
you mean George Kittle?
Yeah, right? Yeah, George Kittle did. Randy Moss had the higher yards, but George Kittle, hit him in the middle. I would love to see the Raiders win this game, but I think it's going to be Miami. Okay, so we're going to move on, and I'm going to give it to Mr. Jose Alvarez, map Tennessee and Jacksonville. Now, I do have to point out, I think we played Jacksonville, the Niners did, and I think we handed them the broom and told them to go sweep up because we were done. They're going to be playing Tennessee, and this is a divisional matchup. So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this one's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Jaguars coming off of a terrible last week. Absolutely terrible. Like, you're talking about a team that before the season started, everybody predicted this is going to be another playoff team. They've learned from last season. There's a bunch of young guys who now have that experience. They're going to do better. And we didn't really see that last week. Last week was a good chance for them to play against a top caliber team and say, even if they lost still nonetheless, but if it was a closer game, that would have been nice. Like, oh, okay, this is a respectable team that we could see going against the Ravens, going against any of the other top AFC teams, basically the whole AFC North, and potentially go deep, but they didn't. I do still have them coming out with a win because they're at home, and you can only hope that they're upset. We saw that early in the season after the Broncos got smashed by the Dolphins, that the Broncos actually came back the next week, got a win. So you can only hope that the Jaguars can put it together. The Titans are riding high with Will Levis, so he's pretty decent. I don't want to pump him up too much, but sure, there's some cracks in the seams, but he started off with the hot hands, so you got to respect the hot hands. I do think still this is Jaguars' game to lose only because they're at home. If this was the other way around, where if they were in Tennessee, I'd be like, ooh, actually, I'm going to go with the spicy pick of the Titans, but not this time.
I like that though. Their quarterback Levitz is doing really well. I think he'll be their future moving forward. Tannehill, hey, like you guy, but I think Ryan, it's time to maybe start thinking about what you're gonna do after football or where you could go to next. Wow, maybe you can go back to Miami. Just maybe. Okay, so Arizona and Houston. David, what's your thoughts on the Red Chickens going to the red hot state of Texas?
I think the Cardinals have the mighty midget. He's back, and they won the first game with him back by 2 points. against a kind of iffy Atlanta team. But still, they won his first game back, right? But now they go to Texans, who have won 3 out of the last 4 games. And D'Amico Ryans has got that team playing hard. I have the Texans winning this one.
I like it. Houston's got a really, really exciting team right now. Their offense can put up some points. It's that quarterback. He's on his way of getting rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year. Okay.
Could be the best QB to come out in the NFL from Ohio. Could be. He would be number 19 that ended up on an NFL team, and none of them have worked out. Shout out to Justin Fields, buddy.
I want everybody to get a chance on this one, so I'm going to give it back to you, David. Tampa Bay and San Francisco. Your prediction, your overall expectations. What do you think might happen? Your fear that could happen. Your best analyst of this game.
I fully expect us to win this game by multiple scores. A score prediction is something I'm not doing anymore, but I do. I expect to win this game by 2 scores. They actually have a good run defense. This is something I was looking at last night and this morning. And Tampa Bay is good at stopping the run. So I expect Kyle to see that, either, maybe call some outside edge plays or just pass the ball a little more than run the ball. Which you know how I love to run the ball because it just eats the clock and keeps the defense fresh. But that could be the game we're rolling into. We're going to see Brock put up 35 to 40 passes maybe.
I agree. Josue, your thoughts, an outsider looking in. Tampa Bay playing the 49ers. How do you feel? Will you be watching this game?
I'll be watching this one. Just like with many of the teams we talked about, the Niners playing their home away from home as well. I think that the Niners should win, and even regardless of the should, the Niners have to it, because looking at the rest of the schedule, like, you guys have a not fun schedule to finish out the season. And so when you talk about, you have the Seahawks who are playing well this season, you have the Eagles who are best in the season, at least on record, maybe not on field, but on record best. And then the Seahawks again. Then you get the Cardinals, cool. But then you get the Ravens, okay. Then you get the Commanders, who could play the role of the spoiler, and then the Rams, who yet again could play the role of the spoiler. It's a divisional rivals, so they could still pull out some crazy stuff. So, like, this is a game that you guys have to win, because it's one of the more favorable ones when we look at the whole schedule. Again, you guys are at home off of a huge weekend, so I can only hope that between crowd energy and just vibes off of last week, like, just keep doing the same thing you did last week. Just punch them in the mouth, run them over, and get more touchdowns. And also, please pour to Kittle. I need more production from Kittle. Thank you. Fantasy football.
Yeah. Shout out to Kittle. He's
can't argue with that.
You really can't. My thoughts, I'd like to see a great game between Tampa Bay and San Francisco. The Tom Brady game was supposed to be a little bit more stellar, a little bit more exciting last year, and they didn't necessarily come. There was some injuries on their defensive side of the field. So this year, I don't think they are as banged up. So their defense should be a little bit more formidable. But they got Baker Mayfield on the other side, and say what you want about Baker Mayfield. The guy can come and play, and he can play any day of the week. The guy can cook. He seriously can. So if we take him lightly, he could have a really, really big game against us. They got big wide receivers. They're very similar to the Chargers. Very similar. They just, since they lost that quarterback, that Hall of Fame quarterback who got all those calls from the refs, right? And you guys know, I ain't lying. Tom Brady, he was hand in hand with some of those referees. So now Tampa Bay has to win games like the regular teams have to, the rest of us, right? And now Baker Mayfield, if Baker has maybe another year with the Bucs, I think the Bucs can be really good again. But right now, there's some coaching and there's some maybe locker room things. But he's a good player, so I wouldn't think we're going to run over him. But I think if we do play San Francisco football like we did against the Jaguars last week, Tampa Bay is going to be a very similar game. It's really weird. We're playing one Florida team, and now we're playing the next Florida team. It's very weird, right? And I think they did that to us last year with Miami and Tampa Bay, but I could be wrong. There might have been a game in between. So now we have the Jets in Buffalo. Josh, your thoughts? New York versus New York.
Yeah, man, what a game! Because again, like talking about like the Chargers earlier being uncharacteristic, the Bills is another team that's like, again, for the last 3 seasons, everybody's just hyped up the Bills, Bills Mafia. We're talking about Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen for my quarterback in fantasy football this season. And I can tell you, as somebody who's watching the stats and watching the games, it is painful. Like, you're talking about how the Bills lost to a Rodgers-less Jets week 1. And, like, for the Bills, this is a must-win. Like, they have to win this if they have any hopes of going to the playoffs. Because if you're talking about the Jets, who at 4-5 are still in the hunt, and if the Jets win out on the tiebreakers here with the Bills, like, that's embarrassing. And so, fortunately, they're at Buffalo, so that's the positive. But the negative is we've been seeing the Bills over the last month plus, actually the whole season, because there's not been a game this season outside of 2 where the Bills looked like the Bills of the last 3 seasons. Josh Allen is basically taking the Favre approach of, let's just give everybody a chance to catch the ball. And when I say everybody has a chance, whether it's his team or not. If Josh Allen can protect the ball, great, Bills win. If he decides that he's just going to chuck that up for anybody to catch it, there's a sadly surprising chance that the Jets will come away with the win. That's really what's going to the difference maker for this game is, do they protect the ball or not? Which we haven't talked about with any of these other teams, because in the NFL you shouldn't have to talk about protecting the ball. But Josh Allen, like, when he does throw it away, that's like 3 picks every game that he does decide to just throw it away. You can't give the ball away 3 times every game. You can't. And so it just comes down to how they play.
Do they not like the punter or something in Buffalo? I mean, like, just because you throw an arm punt doesn't mean it's a good thing. Like, if you turn the ball over right after getting the ball, the other team, what are you doing to your defense? Like, you're not helping anybody. Like what David said earlier about when the Niners run the ball, they give the defense that much more time to relax and calm down, and maybe not calm down, but to take a breath, go get some Gatorade, So yeah. Very, very good point. David, I know you're drinking your coffee. I'm going to take a drink right after you. Seattle versus the LA Rams. This is in SoFi. Shout out to Levi South. We have so many different
Levi's
stadiums.
Inglewood.
we take over stadiums. So our other home.
Well, Sean McVay is, according to Joe Stevens, 9-5 against Pete Carroll. And, that's going back to the Russell Wilson days of the Seattle Seahawks. And that's kind of, I didn't think it would be that. I thought it was around 50-50, and I thought it was 8-5, but then I was corrected. He is 9-5. And they're playing at Levi's Inglewood, well, the Rams home stadium, supposedly. It's really our play. It's really our house. And I just don't see Seattle winning. I just don't. I hate to say the Rams are going to take it, but Stafford playing, their team's relatively healthy. I think this is going to be a hard fought game, but I totally see the Rams taking it.
It would only help us. Hey, shout out to Joe Stevens. We still love you, but yeah, I'm gonna say it too. I don't say it too often, but go Rams. It's kind of hard for me to say it there, but go Rams. Okay, Minnesota and Denver. Oh boy, no Kirk Cousins, but Josh Dobbs is playing really well. He's projected to get like 20 points at fantasy. So if you guys are in need of a quarterback, and I might need a quarterback because if Josh Allen keeps playing the way he's playing, I'm not going to cut him, but I might have to bench him. And sad for me, I had Aaron Rodgers. What happens? Aaron Rodgers, he's on my team. Like I'm not gonna cut him, but he's not doing me any good. It's like I keep looking at him. I'm like, it's like that Wolverine picture with Jean Grey, and you're like, come back. All right. So Minnesota versus Denver. If Denver wins, oh my gosh, Denver could start running the table, and I don't think that's gonna happen. But if Minnesota wins, wow, Minnesota can put a little bit of noise in the north. And for me, I'm like you. I'd like to see Green Bay, possibly make a run at it. I don't know if they're going to. I would like to see them do it, but I'm not a big, Skull fan. I'm not a purple people eater. And I'm just going to say, go Pack, go. So hopefully the Packers can get back on track. But again, if Minnesota goes in and wins with Dobbs, you got to kind of think about Dobbs being there for the next year. So, yeah, you were not going to hear me say it too many times either, but let's ride. Josue, your thoughts on Philadelphia and Kansas City?
I mean, oh man, like this would be like an exciting game to watch. I'm glad like we finally have a hopefully good Monday night game this season. Monday night hasn't really been exciting to watch, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know who's really going to win. I hate to say this, but really it's going to come down to is Taylor Swift in the house or not. Like I really hate that. I really hate that in 2023. That's the thing. But like, if Taylor Swift is there, then we know that Kelsey's gonna pop off. Because unfortunately, the stats don't lie. Like, I hate that that's also a thing that people are tracking. But like, how does he play when she's there, when she's not there? And it's a tale of two teams. Unfortunately. They are in Arrowhead, but you can only hope that the Eagles, who, again, very veteran squad now at this point, you can only hope that the whole crowd noise that you get from Arrowhead won't be that big of a deal. So with that being said, and them being at 8-1, like, again, this is a must-win for the Eagles as much as it is for the Chiefs. I think that the Eagles will still sneak it away because I think that they'll be able to still play through the noise. You still have brotherly shove. And so regardless of if Taylor Swift is in the house or not, God, that play, the whole brotherly shove, like it just, the Redskins have the Redskins, oh my God, the Commanders have been the only team that's been able to stop it. Like that's just how it is. And I can't wait till next season when we change that up and that plays can no longer be a play. But until then, Eagles got it because they're probably going to have those short third and fourth downs, and they're just going to run brotherly shove. They're going to get in the red zone, and they're just going to brotherly shove. And that's just what it's going to be the whole way through. So I think regardless, like as much as the Eagles haven't been playing the prettiest this season, you can't stop that play. Like, and I just hate it. Like I watched one game with the Eagles a few weeks ago, and they ran that like 4 or 5 times. Got it all times, every time. And it just, what can you say? So I do think Eagles sneak out that win in Arrowhead. It's going to be close. It's going to be exciting. But I still think Eagles win.
So I'm kind of hoping that the Eagles lose so the Niners can catch them, right? The Niners have a good chance of catching the Eagles. The Eagles play the Chiefs. Then the Eagles play Buffalo, I believe. I'm checking the schedule real quick. Yep, Buffalo. Buffalo goes to the Eagles. Then the next week would be the Niners. Let's double check that. December 3rd. Yes, we play the Eagles. The Eagles 425. And that's weird to me too. Why is the Niners going back to Philadelphia and playing the late game? Why wouldn't they be playing the morning game? And that most of the time, that's how it is. And then after the Niners played the Eagles, because the Eagles go on a little bit of a run too. They have a gauntlet that they have to go through too. And the next game that they play is Dallas. So they have to beat the Chiefs. Then they have to beat the Bills. The Bills might be their easier game out of the next 4 games. Then they have to play us. That's going to be like another Super Bowl matchup, basically. You know, and then they got to play Dallas if they think, oh man, they're going to be hurt after playing us. So depending on how aggressive they are with us, they might just lose to Dallas because, you know, they blew it with us, you know, or they put out. So, David, your thoughts, Philadelphia and Kansas City.
You know, at this point, the Chiefs started out, they kind of looked iffy, you know. Then they played the Denver Broncos and just get beat. And it was like, where did that come from? Right. I'm still of the opinion that Sean Payton has learned how to use his team and also learned that Russell Wilson is a system quarterback and implemented the proper system for him. We'll see what happens moving forward there. But Kansas City does have a good defense. They have Patrick Mahomes, who I will definitely use the term elite on. He has earned it. And they're playing at home. You know, this isn't Philadelphia. I don't see the Eagles winning this game. They have barely won games pretty much all season. They have, I think, beaten a couple teams big time, but when they're playing even the mid-tier, top-tier teams, they're hardly winning the game. Cowboys had, 3-4 chances to win that game, and they totally choked, you know, at Philadelphia.
Washington almost beat them.
Yeah. I see the Chiefs taking this game. And I actually have them winning by over 2 touchdowns, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Steve-O brought up a good point earlier today. It's kind of a cool record. So if everybody wants to keep their eyes out, if CMC catches 4 more passes, I believe he will break the record that Roger Craig has held since being in the league. He had went 7 years, so the most catches in 7 years. And, you know, sure, Roger Craig was on our team for those 7 years, but CMC's been in the league for 7 years. So that was really cool. Shout out to Steve-O for bringing that up to everybody. Everybody in the chat, thank you all for coming. Man, this is super awesome. Great show. The games are about ready to get started. Josue Alvarez Map, my good friend, my good brother, thank you always for coming. You know, you're always welcome. David McNiner, my great co-host, great friend and buddy as well, and brother. Thank you so much for coming and hosting. David, what do you have going on your channel in the next upcoming days? I want to tell you, your David and Damian Lee show on Tuesday nights is fire. So if people don't know about it, definitely tune in. But what's going on in your neck of the woods for your channel?
Well, you know, tomorrow evening we have the Niners Coast to Coast. And then Tuesday night, more than likely, it'll be me and Damian Lee going live for a while again. We don't plan on going live for like an hour plus like we normally have been. We plan on making it a little shorter, but we'll just see what happens there. Depends on, you know, what there is to talk about, right? But that's pretty much it at this point. You know, I have a couple folks hitting me up wanting to do shows, and I will plan something with them. I need to honestly start making more videos just to get in the YouTube algorithm, you know. That's on me though. I'm a busy guy.
Hey, you are here, you are there, you are everywhere. And like I said, you're a great co-host, you're a great sidekick. You know, you're your own superhero, you deserve your own sidekick. And that's why anytime you ever need me, you know how to get a hold of me, and you got other people as well, you know, that will be willing to jump in. Again, everybody, you know, check out David McNiner's channel. It's a pretty cool channel. I'm there a lot. Other people are there a lot. Maybe we get Josue over there sometime on a, you know, episode. And Josue, what's going on in your neck of the woods? What's been going on? You do your stuff on Twitch, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm on Twitch. I'll type it in the chat here. Oh, the link disappeared. But yeah, I'm just Boss Quest on Twitch. This upcoming week, I'll probably be taking it off just because we got Thanksgiving right around the corner. So I'll be busy there. But beyond that, the week afterwards, I'll be back to just normal stuff. I do variety content, so I still have another DJ set that I got to do, and then yeah, I'm still DJing on a blue moon here. And then yeah, that's about it. So I just like to appear on your guys' shows just to talk sports because my friends don't talk sports. So
yeah, we love it. Every time you can come, we really truly love it. And you know, anytime you need to get a hold of me, you know how to do it as well. So for Thanksgiving, will you be in Stockton, or are you going to be doing something in closer to your area?
Man, I probably will be in Stockton, but I mean, it's still to be determined. I'm trying to get my dad to come on up to Sacramento just because I would like to like have one Thanksgiving where I don't have to be the one that has to drive. So that'd be nice. We'll see.
Awesome. Well, if you get to see your brother Angel, you get to see, you know, your dad, tell him I said hello, tell him the Cult family said hello as well. Yep. David, your plans for Thanksgiving?
Watch the 49er game and probably go cook at my mom's house. Yep. Right. Shout out to my mom. She tries, but I'm a better cook, so I get to go handle that.
Well, if either one of you, it might be a stretch. Josue, you might have a better chance. But I'll be deep frying in my driveway. We will be dropping a couple turkeys, and we will be watching the Niner game after the whole day is over, you know, because we got the late game. So fingers crossed. I hope we are celebrating with the turkey leg on the field at the end of the day. But today's game is Tampa Bay. So we cannot overlook Tampa Bay or overlook the LA Chargers versus Green Bay. So guys, tune in. Hope you guys get something good to eat. Barbecue with some friends, or you know, but enjoy your day, and go Niners, go football. You guys, let me send you out. Go ahead and say it, and we'll get out of here. David, you know what to do.
Go Niners and F the Lambs. Even though I picked them to win this week.
Go Pack, go.
I love it. All right, guys, stay faithful. We'll see you next time.